Talk about saving energy.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to be here. And, you know, even myself going out and getting my electric bill, nobody likes to spend money sometimes, you know. So what we do, and we've known you for a long time, we teach people how to save money on their utility bills.
And do a good job.
You know, and over the 20 or 30 years that we've been teaching this, you know, it's very interesting. Nothing in energy efficiency has really changed that much. You know, you still want to keep the air out of your house.
Exactly.
You don't want the cold air to get in your house in the winter and the hot air and vice versa. And really the technologies have changed a little bit, but not a whole lot. And so we've just been teaching people for a long time how to do that. What I wanted to discuss today was water heaters.
Water heaters. Now, the only thing I know about a water heater is that I want the water warm as soon as I can get it turned on in the shower. I hate cold water in the shower, but that's nothing like that, right?
And you want it done in an efficient manner also, because that affects that bill that you pick up at the mailbox out there. You know, for a long time, we've been talking about and promoting the Marathon water heater.
Right.
And for those that want to check that out, you can go to marathonheaters.com. It's made by Rheem. So it's not a small, you know, been around for a long time, make a lot of products. But the Marathon is guaranteed for life to never leak or rust, is 95% energy efficient, has zero standby loss. Zero standby loss.
Okay.
Yeah. That means that once the water is heated, it stays heated until you mix cold water with it. So we have a friend at an electric co-op who took a Marathon out and put it on his back porch in the winter, didn't hook it up to his house and just tied it into the meter, and just wanted to see how much electricity it would use over 2 or 3 months just to keep that water hot. And the truth is, I don't know that it ever came on that whole time. You know, it's got about 6 inches of foam insulation, encapsulated top to bottom, sides, everywhere. There's no metal parts in it. You know, so there's nothing to leak or to rust. And that's what makes it so energy efficient.
I was just going to say, because I don't know anything, I've never looked inside a hot water heater, so this is a lot better than the typical water heater.
Yes, and you know, the average water heater is pretty much designed to leak about every 10 years. You know, how many times have you heard the story of somebody coming home and their kitchen and their living room is full of...
Had a rental property not too long ago. They first called and said, we got a problem with the water heater. Not too long later, we got a call that said, well, there's water everywhere.
We have a house full of water.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite a mess, wasn't it? You know, so instead of some, and of course the Marathon's going to be a little bit more, not even twice as much probably as a standard gas or electric water heater. And people a lot of times don't want to spend that extra $300 or $400. How does that compare to
that water, that mess that I had,
you know, and all the headache that goes along with that and everything that it runs. So we've been promoting that, and that is still a great option. But I want to talk about a new product that's made by GE, which everybody knows of GE.
Exactly.
And it's called a hybrid water heater.
So that's kind of, I'm thinking hybrid, I only heard of that with cars.
Right, no, it's not like it doesn't run off
All
propane.
right, just checking it out.
It's also called the heat pump water heater. And the way it works is the water heater has a heat pump on top that exchanges the heat and gives you essentially free hot water.
Say that again?
Yeah, it gives you free hot water.
Wow.
Essentially almost nothing. So let me tell you this, the efficiency of this unit is 235%.
Let's see, 235%. That's like running on all 16 cylinders or something.
And some people wonder, how can you get more than 100% efficiency?
That's what I was going to ask.
You know, same thing with the geothermal heat pump, which we'll talk about in a segment later. You can get more than 100% efficiency when you can take an outside source and convert that into another energy, you know, very efficiently. So what happens is, are you familiar with heat pumps and how they work?
You've talked to me before about that.
Right. So a lot of you may have a gas furnace out there, so you don't have the heat pump, but your air conditioner is also a heat pump, although it's called that. You know, my house is all electric, so I have a heat pump that does both heating and cooling. A heat pump does nothing but transfer heat. So let's say in your refrigerator.
All right.
Did you know that your refrigerator was a heat pump?
I was hoping it never was a heat pump, but
that's what happens. You take a warm jug of milk and you put that in your refrigerator. That heat pump takes the heat out of that milk and puts it in the air behind your refrigerator. So if you ever reach back there and you got a fan blowing, you have a small heat pump, and it's always hot, right? Because it's taking the heat out of that refrigerator and dispersing it into your kitchen is what it's doing, you know. So if you had that in a small room, you've got a small heater.
Gotcha.
It's taking the heat from one place and putting it in another. So in your house in the summertime, the heat pump is taking the heat out of your house, dissipating that outside. So if you have a unit sitting outside with a fan blowing, that's getting rid of the heat. The winter, it just reverses. Takes it from outside and puts it inside. So what this is able to do, if you have this water
We're talking about
heater,
this, the GE hybrid,
the GE hybrid,
water heater.
the heat pump water heater, and it's also called now a Geo Spring. Geo Spring is what GE has named it. And you go to the GE website, and I've read for days.
I bet you did. I can only imagine.
More stuff than you want to read. I hit the full technical details.
Oh, I love those things.
I didn't read very long. It was a lot of diagrams and numbers.